what is an emergency and what is not an emergency. Hello everybody, it's me, Lady Burke, and I am back for another video this week. I thought I'd do a video on a subject that comes up very, very often in property management, and that is the subject of maintenance and reporting maintenance. I thought it'd be a good idea to kind of let people know some things to keep in mind when you are reporting maintenance to your landlord or property manager. What is an emergency and what is not an emergency? So before we continue, please remember to subscribe and click like. The YouTube algorithm is super, super picky, and so the more likes and shares I get, the more my videos will be put out for everybody to see and enjoy as well. So here we go. You are a renter and you have a maintenance item you want to report. Now, my experience, and I have to say before I say this, I do understand. I've been a renter for most of my life, and I do understand that when something breaks or isn't working, it's an inconvenience. So I'm just going to start off with that. It is an inconvenience, but I'm going to break down what's an emergency and what's not. I think one thing that people just aren't aware of, not that they don't care. I'm not going to say people don't care. I just don't think they're aware of the fact that this is an actual business. And so when you're reporting maintenance to your landlord or your property manager, they're actually managing multiple properties and their vendors are actually on a schedule for maintenance. And so some things will wait, whereas other things cannot wait. So I'm going to address the very first thing, which is emergency items. Now, our number one rule in property management, anything to us that's considered an emergency is like flood, fire, or blood. Those three things. So if you call us and say there is water everywhere in my unit, the sink is overflowing, whatever, we're going to absolutely respond immediately to that. Or your property manager or landlord should. That is a safety thing as well. And so that's something that could be reported to the health department if, let's just say, there was no response and you had a huge flood that damaged your entire unit, your walls are wet, cabinets are damaged, whatever. So usually when we get a call about a water flood, we will respond right away. If it's fire or blood, we always remind our residents to please contact and call 911 first, okay? Especially if there's a fire in your unit, call 911. If you see a fire anywhere on the property, call 911 first, then call your manager to inform them because there is going to be property damage that they are going to have to take care of. We're obligated to do that. So whether or not it's a resident's fault, if the fire started, is a moot point, we still have to resolve the property damage. So you definitely want to solve that or report that right away. The other things that might be considered an emergency is really dependent on the makeup of your unit. That one thing is, what if your toilet is clogged? You call your landlord and you say your toilet is clogged. The very first thing that your landlord or manager should be thinking about and might even ask you is, how many bathrooms do you have? Okay. And the reason why that's important is because we need to gauge whether or not we need to pull a vendor from a different property to send them out there, or if it can wait the following business day. So, and by the way, your manager should know the makeup of your unit. So if they have Yardi, Appfolio, whatever system they use, they would be able to look that up fairly quickly if they can't remember. So if you have more than one bathroom and you have one toilet clogged, they're probably not going to send someone out that same day. It's going to have to wait till the following business day. And that would apply if it was after hours. We get a lot of phone calls after hours about a toilet being clogged. And if we know that you have more than one bathroom, we're not going to send out after hours emergency. It's going to wait till the next day. But if you only have one bathroom, then we're going to respond right away. Absolutely. On this note, I do think it's worth, if any renter is watching this, I've actually learned that a lot of people do not have plungers. Please believe me, especially if it's happening after hours or on the weekend when your manager isn't available, it is worth having a plunger. Plungers are super cheap, and you can go to Home Depot. Even the dollar store has plungers, and you can just get one to have in the event that your manager cannot send a plumber out right away. Totally worth it. The second thing that we absolutely consider an emergency, even if it's not a flood, is a water leak. If you report a water leak, and I want to be very clear as to what we mean by a water leak, a dripping faucet is not considered a water leak. Technically it is, but we're talking about something. When you say water leak, we're thinking there's water dripping through your ceiling from somewhere or something like that, and we're going to respond absolutely right away. A dripping faucet will wait till the following business day. But anything else, any signs of water intrusion, if you see mold growing on the wall, anything like that, you're going to want to report, because that means that there's a water leak somewhere and we need to get out there right away to solve the issue. Now, those are just a few things that I can think of that would be considered an emergency and that we would respond to right away, whether it's during the day or after hours. There are other things that are urgent but may not be considered an emergency. Some of these things would be, for instance, pest control, right? So let's just say that you've reported roaches. I hate roaches. They're absolutely disgusting. I don't know anyone out there that would think that roaches are fantastic. So even with that said, if you call your manager and you report roaches, yes, your manager should be on that. Absolutely. They should not let it go for weeks and months at a time, but they're also not going to send a pest control company out there that same day. My community where we're at, we actually have a contract with a pest control company, and they're scheduled to come out to the property twice a week. Depending on what the situation is, usually we can just put them a unit on their next scheduled visit, or if it's something more urgent than roaches, like for instance, bed bugs, we will get pest control out there ASAP. If you call and say, hey, I think I have bed bugs, but I'm not really sure, we're not going to wait to find out. We're going to send someone out as soon as possible to figure it out and treat it. But things like, rodents, trust me, I understand. It's disgusting. No one wants a rodent in their unit. If a manager can accommodate your request and send someone out the same day, they will. Most of the times they can't. And it's just depending on the vendor's schedule. And that's something I want to impress upon people. If you're watching this, you have to remember that it's not your manager that's going out to solve the issue. We are relying on third-party vendors. So they may already have booked for the day the location they're going to be. They may not be able to drop what they're doing to run over to your unit. And this is not to any fault to the manager. It's literally, if we call our pest control and say, hey, apartment A has roaches, the pest control company is going to tell me when they're available. They may not be available that day. So please keep that in mind when you report things to your manager. Definitely document anything that you report to your manager regarding maintenance, but also keep in mind that your manager is also relying on their vendor schedule. They can't set their vendor schedule. The other thing that is important and is a safety thing that all managers should absolutely be doing is making sure that your window locks and your front entry door locks are working. If you report that your front door locks are broken, we're going to try to determine whether or not you can still get in and out of your unit. If it's one of those things where you're locked inside your unit the way the lock broke, we're going to send someone out right away. If your window locks are broken, we're not going to pull a vendor from a different unit to send someone out that minute, but we're definitely going to take care of it right away. That's still considered an urgent item that we as landlords are obligated to comply with. Now, the other things that are not considered in emergencies, and this is something that I find myself having the same conversation with all my residents all the time, is things like dripping faucet. I mentioned that earlier. It is annoying, and yes, it's water waste, but we're not gonna pull a plumber out right away for a dripping faucet. We're also not gonna get a plumber out right away for a broken garbage disposal. I understand people love that, they love using it, but it's not an emergency, and it's gonna have to wait till the following business day or whenever the vendor is available. The other thing is dishwashers. This day and age with modern technology, people have grown super reliant on convenience items like dishwashers. I've literally have had residents tell me their dishwasher is broken now, they can't wash their dishes. So as you can imagine, unfortunately, yes, that may be inconvenience to you. It's not an emergency. It doesn't interfere with your ability to inhabit the unit. It's not a health or safety thing. It's actually considered an amenity. It's like a luxury item. Landlords are not even obligated to supply those. So it's one of those things where it'll have to wait till the vendor is available to come out and fix it. Clog sinks, believe it or not, is not considered an item that is so important that we have to respond right away to it. If you call your company's after hours emergency line and you say, hey, I have a clogged sink, I can promise you they're not going to send a plumber out right away. They're going to let you know, they will convey this to the property manager, and this will be solved the following business day. And the last but not least is broken blinds, vertical blinds. See those blinds behind me? I have literally had people call me yelling and screaming because their blinds are broken. They want to fix it right away. Threatening to sue the company if we don't fix their blinds right away. The bottom line is that's not considered an emergency. I understand that having privacy is really nice, especially for people that are sensitive to light. They may not want all that light shining through. I understand that, but please remember that's not considered an emergency. And depending on how long you lived in the unit, you could even be charged for that. If you only lived in the unit for a year and those blinds were brand new when you moved in, you could be charged for that. So these are things that I thought was a good idea to discuss. I'm hoping that anyone that's watching this, that's a renter, that you have more things that you want me to discuss. Is there anything else that you've experienced that you felt was an emergency and needed attention right away? Please let me know in the comments below. I'm definitely curious to get your guys' feedback. And I hope you guys are enjoying my videos. I will continue to make a video every single week. Any requests that you guys have on a certain topic, let me know. Again, guys, thank you guys so much. And remember to subscribe and click like for more content. Have a good day.